Honestly, for me, and this is the reason I love working for the city, is I believe that the work we do allows people to have choices. So because of the work we do, people can choose where they want to live. They can choose where they want to work. They can choose how they get to and from their jobs or how they get to and from recreation.
Giving residents a voice in city decisions is so important to me because I really believe that with their voice, we will make better decisions.
We're here for the people and to serve the people.
Salt Lake City really is a city for everyone. It doesn't mean that you have to live here. When you're here, you're family.
I absolutely love coming to work every day because it is working on things that will give us a healthy environment.
I wake up every morning excited about the opportunity to make Salt Lake City's streets more welcome and inviting for everyone.
I love to hear people's stories about their neighborhoods, their places, and the role that the built environment has played in shaping those stories.
Safety helps everyone do their business on a daily basis, whether it's a day-to-day chore, whether it's the fire department, police department getting around, big trucks delivering. All of that is motivation for us to keep the roads in the best condition as we can.
Some projects can take multiple years before they're completed, and knowing the time and energy that our team puts into those projects and then seeing them come to fruition and seeing our residents have opportunities to be employed by these companies is really what is truly satisfying for me.
I mean, the reality is I came from an unstable housing childhood. We moved a lot, we didn't have that. And I always knew that that was wrong and that I thought that I could do something to change it. And that guided my path. I came to the city and to this city because it's a vision of really creating a place that is for everyone. And not as a compassion, but as a strength that we want all types of people in this community because that is what makes this a great city.
All right, I'd like for you all to please welcome our mayor, Jackie Biskupski.
Well, thank you, Nate, Maya, and Dylan. You have certainly made East High School proud. And thank you to the Salt Lake City Fire Department for your service. The cadets are amazing, and I cross your path regularly. It's very fun for me. And thank you to the members of the Salt Lake City Council who are with us tonight. I truly appreciate you being here. And thank you to all of you for joining us for this evening. Tonight, I want to extend a special thanks to Salt Lake City staff and public servants across the state. We are in the 27th day of a federal government shutdown, which has frustrated and hurt people around this country. A dysfunction which erodes people's faith in government. So I am glad we have the opportunity to come together tonight to talk about the progress we have made at the local level. Progress in affordable housing, transit, infrastructure, safety, and protecting our environment. Progress made because of the cultural shifts we have created over the last 3 years, and progress driven by the type of civil servants you saw in that video. I want to start tonight by telling you a story. 25 years ago, I turned on the news and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. A group of students from East High School, just blocks from where I lived, were being threatened and bullied by their peers, teachers, school officials, and even parents. All because they wanted to come together as the state's first gay-straight alliance. As the story unfolded, I found myself feeling uncomfortable. Uncomfortable because as an openly gay woman in Utah, I knew I wasn't doing enough to make life better for them. Uncomfortable because although I had always considered a life of public service, having been raised in a household steeped in the Kennedy aura of duty to country, I had done little to live up to my namesake, of Jackie Kennedy. The courage of the East High students altered the course of my life and the course of this state. They set me on a path to embrace change and to accept the uncomfortableness which often comes with it. While those students set out to create a safe space for themselves and their friends, what they accomplished was nothing less than a cultural shift in the state of Utah. A cultural shift that led us to where we are today, a time when the mayor of the capital city of Utah can stand before you and thank her wife for all her support. Thank you, Betty. I love you. A place where young people are freer to be themselves and can more easily find the support they need. Throughout my career in public service, I have never forgotten the impact and bravery of those students, nor my commitment to use my voice to build a stronger and more equitable community for all people. Mostly, I have never forgotten that cultural shifts require time, persistence, and the passion of many. The kind of passion I see every day from this community and the team at Salt Lake City. So it is an honor for me to be here tonight at East High School to present my 2019 State of the City address. For 3 years, my team and I have been working with this community to create the kind of cultural shifts that would allow us to build a city for everyone. At a time when our country seems more divided than ever, we have been focused on how to bring people together in a lasting way. We understand the strength of a community is found in its people, students, seniors, entrepreneurs, young families, and artists, doctors, teachers, construction workers, firefighters, and the barista at your local coffee shop. We live amongst one another because we inherently value what each of us brings to this community. And the affordable housing shortage we are facing in this region threatens the very fabric of that notion. For 3 years, my administration has taken on this crisis. Just a little over 1 year ago, Salt Lake City passed our first affordable housing plan in more than 2 decades. In this effort, we have had incredible support from the community, the City Council, and the RDA, sending a signal that Salt Lake City is united and prepared to tackle this crisis from every angle. Since 2016, we have added nearly 2,500 affordable units into Salt Lake City's housing pipeline. Including 400 units of transitional housing to help people move out of homelessness. Often, when we discuss housing, it can feel like a complicated math equation. 20%, 80%, 60% AMI, right? Yeah, 9% tax credits versus 4%. While our housing experts can make even the most complicated deal balance, they have never lost sight of the human face of this issue. Tonight, we are joined by several people who have been directly impacted by the work we are doing. Daniel Day spent 4 years living at the Road Home Shelter, dealing with health issues, and with few people in his life that could help him, Daniel struggled to get on his feet and move forward. 6 months ago, Daniel moved into a 1-bedroom apartment funded through the city's House 20 program. House 20 is designed to help stabilize individuals experiencing homelessness, those who are the highest users of costly services like police, fire, and ambulances. Today, Daniel is focused on his health. As part of House 20, he is receiving ongoing case management and a health care plan to help him recover. All this so that he can get back to work and do what he dreams of, give back to the community. Daniel, I can assure you, this city is rooting for you. We are also joined tonight by Jared and Morgan McClure, along with their young daughter, Vivian. Jared works at City Creek, and Morgan is a nanny. Like many first-time home buyers, the McClures struggled to find an affordable home in Salt Lake City where they work. Luckily, they came across the city's Welcome Home program, which offers low-interest loans to stable buyers with limited income. With the city's help, Jared and Morgan purchased their first home in May of last year. They've already fallen in love with the Poplar Grove neighborhood and are creating a life there. Congratulations. Over the last 3 years, Salt Lake City has become the model for how to address the affordable housing crisis. We have invested in your ideas and the people of this city. We listened to the community and developed a plan that works, one that is getting affordable units into new developments all around the city. With support from the community, we are funding new programs to help people like Daniel and the McClures. This includes creating the city's first ever ongoing revenue source for affordable housing. All of this means that today we are measuring our annual progress in thousands of affordable units instead of hundreds. This is the type of pipeline we need to meet the backlog of demand that has existed for years. In the coming year, we will examine our zoning requirements to find ways in which we can incentivize affordability and accessibility while maintaining the current feel of our neighborhoods. But we can't do it alone. The cultural shift in housing we've created must expand statewide. Communities along the Wasatch Front must step up and say yes to affordable housing. The demand in Salt Lake County alone is 40,000 units. We must say yes to helping people like Daniel and welcome couples like the McClures to our neighborhoods. As mayor, I am proud of how Salt Lake City residents, businesses, are willing to be welcoming partners. Nowhere is this seen more than in the neighborhoods which will soon be home to the new homeless resource centers. When the sites of the new centers were announced, SAPA Group, led by Hong Nguyen, who is here tonight, was in the process of beginning a $10 million investment just across the street from the Future Women's Resource Center. This development will create a food alley between 2nd East and State Street, combining 17 ground floor restaurants with artist lofts and additional commercial space, all using repurposed cargo containers. After the announcement, Ms. Nguyen and her team reached out to the city's Economic Development Department to better understand the impacts the new center would have. Our team worked with SAPA Group, putting them in touch with the operators and builders of the new resource center to ensure they had the information they needed to continue this incredible development. Today, the food alley is closer than ever to becoming a reality. Rather than seeing the new resource centers as an obstacle, Ms. Nguyen now sees an opportunity to create a job training program for the women who will rebuild their lives at the center. Thank you, Ms. Nguyen. When I created the city's Department of Economic Development 3 years ago, it was this type of interaction between the city and businesses I hoped would happen. Through a commitment to problem solving and partnership, this department has created a cultural shift in how business is done and won in Salt Lake City. Along with working to expand businesses like UPS and clearing hurdles for small businesses like SAPA, this team has been a force in promoting all aspects of Salt Lake City. Last year, with Multicultural Chambers of Commerce, this team helped launch Living Color Utah, an interactive toolkit designed to promote the city's diverse businesses. And through their focus on the arts, they helped bring 11 murals to the city's historic Granary District, adding to the culture and the uniqueness of this historic area. The Granary District is one of several neighborhoods undergoing a renaissance of change in our city. These revitalizations are occurring through a combination of the entrepreneurial spirit, economic development efforts, and the incredible improvement of public safety across our city. There is nothing more a mayor wants to be able to say than this: you are safer in this city today than you were 3 years ago. The numbers are dramatic. A 3-year, 25% decrease in crime. Thank you, Chief Brown. This drop in crime is seen in every district of this city. This means when compared to 2015, there were 6,000 fewer crimes. That is 6,000 fewer victims and 6,000 fewer incidents putting pressure on the criminal justice system. Chief Brown's strategy of getting officers back into neighborhoods is working. Pairing social workers with police officers to ensure people are getting the help they need is working. The plan to disrupt the criminal element hiding amongst the most vulnerable, first demonstrated by the city and county with Operation Diversion, is working. Tomorrow, I will attend a police academy graduation of 15 new cadets. Over the last year, Salt Lake City Police Department has graduated 81 cadets, staffing vacancies and fulfilling our pledge to add 27 new department positions overall. Tonight, I'd like to introduce you to one of the most unique additions to the department. Rita, the advocate dog, and her partner, Carrie Bobo. Rita is a comfort dog who started her career with Salt Lake City PD 2 months ago. Through furry physical contact, Rita calms victims during interviews, allowing investigators to get the details they need to help prosecute criminals. Rita is definitely a hero, and I am guessing one of the biggest supporters of the puppy mill ordinance we passed last year. I know Rita is already making a difference in many lives, and with her own Instagram page at Rita SLCPD, she'll be one of the most popular members of the team. Welcome, Rita. Helping victims of crime is one of the most important things Salt Lake City PD does, and I'm grateful to Chief Brown for making this a priority. A few months ago, I was deeply moved to help launch a new YWCA program designed to train first responders to identify the signs of strangulation. Nearly 10% of the women who experience intimate partner violence will also experience strangulation. The signs of this trauma are often difficult to see, adding to the complex task of helping people get out of abusive relationships. As a survivor myself, I know it is critical for us to create a culture which starts by believing. No one should ever find themselves in an emergency room too afraid to say what really happened, like I did years ago. Salt Lake City is fortunate to have a public safety team who always strives to improve what they do. These efforts include dramatically lowering 911 call response time through better staffing and training. And this year, Lisa Burnett, the city's new 911 director, is leading an effort to put location markers on the Jordan River Trail so people can get help faster. Throughout the summer, Salt Lake City firefighters were called upon to battle blazes in wildland areas, not only here, but across Utah and in California. They are some of the best trained personnel in the country to deal with these urban interface issues of wildfire. These fires are growing more intense as summers become hotter and drier. This is dangerous work. And I am incredibly proud of their service to this city and other communities, especially their heroic efforts in stopping the Ensign Peak fire last year with no loss of life or property. I am equally proud in how they are leading as an agency to do their part to minimize the causes of climate change. Last year, Salt Lake City Fire Department made history by opening the first 2 net zero fire stations in the country. In addition to these efforts, Chief Lee is also committed to examining the overall fuel efficiency of the fire department fleet. He is providing his support staff with clean vehicles while investing in new technology to reduce the carbon output of larger equipment. It shouldn't surprise us that those on the front lines have an all-in mentality when it comes to addressing climate change. And it is this type of mentality we must all have if we are going to be a part of the solution to clear the air. When I took office 3 years ago, I stood on the steps of City Hall, and I could not see the Wasatch Mountains, the very mountains which drew me here to this city 30 years ago. Each of us knows there is no single solution to the air quality crisis we are facing as a state. And we know it is a problem which must be addressed by the state, by every city, every business, and yes, every resident who calls Utah home. I am proud of the work Salt Lake City has done over the last 3 years to create a cultural shift in how we reduce pollution. In 2016, Salt Lake City became the 16th city in the United States to formally adopt a 100% clean energy plan. We are rapidly approaching the first stage of that goal, to have 50% of city government operations powered by clean energy in 2020. We will achieve this goal through a new clean energy development project, which will begin this year. We will also continue our partnership with Rocky Mountain Power to create the necessary framework to enable Salt Lake City, Park City, Moab, Summit County, and other communities to reach our net 100% clean energy goals by 2032. Reaching these goals is critical, not only to our region's air quality, but to help stave off the effects of climate change, which put at risk our water, forests, outdoor tourism, and the brave members of the Salt Lake City Fire Department. Each of us has a personal responsibility to take action, to protect the local and global environment. Salt Lake City will continue to create new paths for residents to be able to do your part, making it easier for all of us to reduce our environmental footprint. One opportunity came last year with the new introduction of a bulk waste collection program. After hearing from residents for years about illegal dumping during the city's annual cleanup and concerns over contamination and a lack of recycling, the city's waste management team introduced a new system in 2018. While there were initial growing pains, the new customized pick-up service has resulted in changes we can all be proud of. During the first year of operation, the new program increased the amount of material we were able to recycle from 0 to 15 tons. Additionally, we have nearly tripled the amount of green waste diverted from our landfill to a more environmentally friendly composting. All this while maintaining the same amount of material removed from our neighborhoods. In October, we received an email from a resident named Wendy, who lives just a few blocks from here on Herbert Avenue. She wrote to simply say, "Thank you for the service you offer and the ease and promptness in responding to my request for pickup. With the new year-round program, residents like Wendy are able to receive the service they need when they need it, confident they are doing their part to help keep our city and planet clean." Just as the choices we make to reduce, reuse, and recycle matter to the health of the environment, the decision we make to turn the key matters to the quality of the air we breathe. We know half the toxic pollution in the air is from our cars. As a working mom of 2 boys, I understand it is not always easy to balance my desire to help clear the air with the demands of an active family. So as mayor, creating a cultural shift in how Salt Lake City approaches transit to help more people make clean air decisions has been a central part of my time in office. With support from the City Council and the residents of Salt Lake City, who said yes to investing in transit, long-awaited changes to bus service will begin this August. Commuters on 3 key lines along 2nd South, 21st South, and right here on 9th South will see extended hours, more frequent service, and at long last, Sunday service. For students here at East, whose boundary extends into our West Side neighborhoods, these improvements not only mean they get to school earlier and stay later for activities, it means an overall easier commute. By extending the 9th South line through the Glendale and Poplar Grove neighborhoods, we will add a critical connector between our East and West Side communities. And mark your calendars, because on February 9th, Salt Lake City will host a rolling open house to test the extension and get feedback from residents on this bus line. This is an exciting time for transportation opportunities, and Salt Lake City is committed to leading out through innovation and partnership. From expanding bus service to working cooperatively with companies like UTA, Lyft, Uber, Greenbike, Bird, and Lime, Salt Lake City is committed to exploring every idea to help people move around in a greener way. In just a few weeks, our transportation team will travel to Phoenix to present a new concept developed for the American Dream Challenge. Their idea is to take all the transportation options which currently exist in our city and bundled them together. Through a single app, users will be able to choose the service that works for them, pay for it, and be on their way. Our team has already won the first round of the American Dream Challenge, and if successful, will receive $1 million to fund this innovative program. But the true value of this $1 million idea is found in the savings it can provide middle-class residents in Salt Lake City, who on average spend $9,300 annually to own a car. By creating transportation options for individuals to get out of their car, we can create a little more breathing room for residents, both in terms of air quality and available income. Regardless of the outcome of the American Dream Challenge, Salt Lake City will continue to invest in programs which bring equitable access to transportation options. This year, we will begin a review of the city's Transit Pass program with the goal of making it more robust and getting it into the hands of more city residents. We will also create a first mile, last mile solution to make it even easier to use the transit system. During my State of the City address last year, I introduced a plan to fundamentally shift how we repair and maintain our city's roads. This plan proposed funding options to repair city streets, 2/3 of which are rated poor or worse, and to adequately maintain them so we don't find ourselves in this situation again. The plan also included an $87 million bond to replace our worst roads. Over the last year, my administration, with council support, took this plan on the road to show residents what is possible with a new commitment to our aging infrastructure. The city's engagement team met with businesses and residents to explain how this funding was an investment in the long-term strength of our community. In November of last year, all of this work paid off when 67% of voters supported the road reconstruction bond. In every district of this city, a majority of voters said yes to the fiscally responsible approach we are taking to fixing our roads. Earlier this month, the city's streets crew welcomed a newly hired team. Along with new equipment, these workers will enable us to double the lane miles we can repair and maintain this year. As we move forward, we will also take every opportunity to problem solve and minimize the impacts caused by construction. Not far from here is a great example of this work. On 13th East, the Public Utilities Department worked throughout last year on the first phase of a total reconstruction of this critical artery. Central to their work was neighborhood outreach to help residents during the 2-year project. Leading this effort was Philip Case, who is here tonight. Philip has been described as an unstoppable outreach guru, and I believe it. Throughout the first phase of this project, Philip knocked on 1,200 doors and responded to 1,500 calls, texts, and emails. Philip has reported back that residents appreciated the outreach, with many inviting him in for treats and handing him water to fuel his work. Thank you, Philip. Currently, our teams are working together to develop a new complete streets ordinance, which considers all modes of transportation and the opportunity for community engagement. But also considering what is along our streets, we can create a better design for the people who use them. This year, we will begin a long-awaited reconstruction of 27th South between Highland Drive and Preston Street. Yes. Because this area includes 2 schools, our priority will be to make the roads safe for kids by utilizing improved crosswalks. We have heard the federal government talk about the need to address our nation's aging infrastructure, but no action has been taken. While others talk, Salt Lake City is putting shovels in the ground, laying pipes for our future generations, and rebuilding our roads so they work for everyone. And as you know, we are rebuilding our international airport, a $3.6 billion project which will create the nation's first 21st century hub airport without using a single taxpayer dollar. As mayor, I have had the opportunity to meet with my colleagues from around the country and to talk with them about what we are doing in Salt Lake City. I have spoken with them about issues of homelessness, affordable housing, and transit, and how politically difficult it can be to find and fund solutions that work. So it is incredible how the people in this community have embraced our plans to address these issues and are willing to give so we can improve the lives of everyone in this city. As the chairwoman of Mayors for a Sustainable Future and co-chair of the Sierra Club's Mayors for 100% Clean Energy, I have carried the message of clean air and carbon reduction around the country. Salt Lake City's unique partnership with our energy provider is proving to be a path forward for other cities to join this movement. Last year, when I spoke at the United Nations Civil Society Conference, I highlighted how people come together in our community and partner with city, county, and state government to help solve our most pressing issues. In August, this prestigious global conference will come to Salt Lake City. Giving us the opportunity to show thousands of people from around the world how we are creating a sustainable and resilient city. The issues we face as a community are not unique, but the ability to put into place solutions at the pace we have is. Over the last 3 years, we have created shifts which will resonate for years to come. This work was possible because of the city workers you saw in tonight's video and the thousands of others like them. This has been possible because for 3 years, my colleagues on the City Council and I have focused on the idea that government can be an instrument of good. Yes, at times we have disagreed, and that is healthy. But on most issues, we have spoken with one voice. Through our policies and budgets, we have established that our legacy will be measured in part by how easy a student here at East can get from their home in Glendale to school. How we can bring stability to the lives of people like Daniel Day, creating an opportunity for a second chance. That couples like the McClures can live safely and affordably in neighborhoods across the city. And how we can create opportunities for people like Hong Nguyen to be part of the solution. Most importantly, the work we have done over the last 3 years has been possible because of the people of Salt Lake City. Residents who engage their government because they love this city and they want to see it thrive. It is no wonder we are America's choice for a future Winter Games. Together, we are building a city for everyone. And together, we are ensuring that the state of this great city is strong. Thank you, everyone.